Hello, and welcome to Widget Inc. This is an incremental factory builder that released on October 31st, 2024. It is $4.99 US dollars, so super reasonable price. You're going to get tons of hours of gameplay out of it. So it is quite addictive. It has over 60 achievements in the game if you're an achievement hunter, and it has a prestige system as well, so you can get multiple gameplays out of it. I'm not exactly sure what the prestige does, but we will hopefully find out this playthrough. So let's just jump into a new game and check it out. It starts off in the widget factory here. We start with 5 iron bars. I'm going to turn those all into widgets by clicking on the button there. That gives us 5 basic widgets to start with. We can hit M to go to the map, and we can zoom out and take a look at the map. Right now we are basically build menu here. We have tier 1. We need to unlock tier 2, but in order to do that we need to take a look at the tech tree. The tech tree has broken out into 12 tiers here, plus an extra tier for the last phase of the game. So the tech tree is quite extensive. We can unlock this stuff by, basically cost 30 iron ingots and 29 basic widgets to unlock this one. So we will get back to that. Right now we have enough to build one of each building on the tier 1 level, so we can. So now we have one of each. We want to build another one that costs 30 iron ingots and 29 basic widgets. So the first thing we need to do is get the iron mine. It can go anywhere at the beginning of the game. We will unlock bonuses to that shortly. So this is the iron mine. You can click on these red buttons in the corners and it manually harvests iron. We're going to need 20 of them. They have a short cooldown period, but we can basically manually mine some ore there. And these are auto miners. They cost 4 iron ingots and 2 basic widgets, and this cost actually goes up as you buy one. So we're going to get 20 iron ore here, and then we will go to the iron smelter and turn them into ingots. Alright, we got a little extra there. So let's go back over to the iron smelter now. This same thing, we can auto load the furnace every 3 seconds. But it costs 8 iron ingots to buy that. So let's load 20 of them into the smelter here. And then we can click this red button at the bottom and it will smelt the iron and turn them into iron ingots for us. Let's go back to the mine and see. We want this to be auto mined first. So I'm going to try to fill these out first. So we need 4 iron ingots and 2 basic widgets. So let's go to the widget factory now. We now have 20 iron ingots. So let's create 2 of these. Now we can click on this button here in the iron ore, and it has an auto miner now. So now it will mine 1 ore every 6 seconds. So that'll be good there. We can basically go to the iron smelter here, and we're going to want to activate this one too. This one costs 8 iron ingots, which we have. So we're going to do that. That will automatically load our iron into here slowly, but we will be able to speed that up as we unlock more of these guys. So we're going to speed this along by helping it out. Smelt 11 of those. And go back to here. And we're basically going to try to speed this along. So we need 5 iron ingots, which we have, and 2 basic widgets. So that's good. So that'll be 2 of them mining stuff for us now. We might as well mine some manually while we're here. Click these red buttons in the corners to get us some iron ore. And let's go smelt it. Right now, once it's loaded, it will not smelt on its own. So we will click this button to smelt it. Basically, going to get these maxed out first. So this will be 6 iron ingots and 3 widgets, which we have already. So now we have 3 of auto miners going. Grab some more manually while we're here. Back to the iron smelter. Load the smelter up here. And smelt that stuff. We're out of widgets now, so let's go create the widget factory and click this blue button in the middle here to just create a couple widgets manually. This costs 3 iron ingots and 3 basic widgets, so let's just go ahead and do that. Now we can basically have the system automated. Okay, so I've got all these maxed out. I got 6 auto miners built. We have 6 auto loaders built. We just have to manually smelt the iron by clicking this button for now. And then I have all 6 of these built we're out of iron ingots. So the first thing we want to do is go to the tech tree and get it so that it automatically starts the furnace once the iron is loaded. That is this one right here. It costs 7 iron ingots and 6 basic widgets, and it will automatically start the iron smelter when full. So let's unlock that one here. Now we need to go to here, and this upgrade is available in the iron smelter. Costs 7 iron ingots and 12 basic widgets, which we do not have, but we can click on it and let it basically queue it up so that when we have 7 iron ingots, it'll complete it, which is now. And now it'll basically start it once there's 20 iron ingots in here, or iron ore in here. It will start the smelter automatically. So now we are fully automated, and we can work on the tech tree. So we have some efficient extraction, increases iron mining speed by 40%. We can increase the smelting speed by 100%. We can increase basic widget by 15% productivity, or increase basic widget crafting speed by 50%. So we are actually going to basically just start building out our factory here. We're going to start with an extra iron mine. I'm going to speed the smelter along by helping load it. In these mini games basically become obsolete pretty quickly. So if mini games aren't your thing and clicking is not your thing, which clicking is not my thing, but it disappears pretty quickly. So it's just enough to make you appreciate the automation of the game. Like tier 2, we need to have 864 basic widgets. So we're going to make sure basic widget production is up and running at a decent speed before we try to unlock that, so we're not sitting here forever. So right now we can only store 100 items. If you hit I, it brings up the inventory button. Right now we just have these 3 things. You can tell the green bar here means your inventory is full, and it has some production and consumption numbers here. So these are somewhat useful sometimes. Right now we can tell we're producing more than we're using, so that's why this bar is full. Once it's full, it's not as useful, but we can basically just tell, okay, we're short on iron ingots right now because these 2 bars are full and this one's not quite full. So we want to make sure we speed up the iron process a little bit here. Let's put it on a second iron smelter. Get one of these loaded. We have to upgrade this one too. You got to remember, you got to do the auto smelter option so that it does smelt them for you. This costs 12 iron ingots. We don't have that, so let's just load this up. Furnace is filled and smelt the iron, and we'll get these up and running. So I'm basically going to expand this factory, and we're actually going to, once I get 2 rows down of each one of these, I'm going to work on the tech tree. So, but first we want to get these factories maxed out. This is actually just an upgrade. So when you unlock something on the tech tree, it's just an upgrade, but we have not built it yet. So we have to come in here, and it costs 11 iron ingots and 9 basic widgets to upgrade that. Back to the tech tree, let's increase iron mining by 40%, so that's good, but we got to remember to come in here, look for the increase here. It only costs 8 iron ingots and 9 basic widgets in the iron mine to increase the up to 40%. Take a minute here and expand this factory out a little bit before we try to unlock that. We could queue this up, but it's going to eat all our materials up. We're going to actually right click to cancel that. We have these 2 here, doubles the number of tier 1 items crafted by hand. That requires 100 basic widgets and allows you to remove frames from the world for a partial refund. We're definitely going to do that one too. Let's just go ahead and do it. This allows you to drag and drop a frame to move it on the map, so that's very handy too. Okay, you can see how fast this is to build now. We can just grab the iron mine, stick that down. It does take a second. We're a little behind on iron ingots, but we can just come in here, click all these. So it's pretty quick now. Go to the iron ingot factory. Costs us 64 iron ingots to build this now, so it's definitely not cheap. Speed these along. Come in here, we can just upgrade all these. Basically build all the auto loaders. Build the auto starter and the speed boost to it. Help it along a little bit. A 3rd widget factory. Get this all loaded up. The tech tree here. Might as well do this one while we're at it. And then we'll queue up this one. This will take us just a couple minutes, 864 basic widgets, but we're producing them at, I don't know, roughly 5 per second, so it won't be too bad. We're waiting for the tier 2 to be researched. You can see at the top left corner of the screen here, we're 400 out of 800, so we're halfway there already. But you can kind of keep an eye on these and see, we're consuming iron ore a little faster than we're being produced, but these numbers fluctuate quite a bit. So, but this is basically staying full, this is basically staying full, and widgets are empty because they're being spent as soon as we make them on the tech research. Alright, we're just about done with tier 2 research. Got there in 30 minutes and 8 seconds. Actually a little slow for me. I've sometimes done it in like 22 minutes. Close that down. Now we have access to tier 2 on the build menu here. We can have one sand pit. Oops. One sand pit. The glass maker. We have a gyroscope fabricator and a widget spinner. This is water. You cannot build on water, and these are mountains over here on the bottom right. You cannot build on those either. So let's take a look at the sand pit. Basically the same situation. The first one you build is going to require the items from the previous tier. So 6 iron ingots, 7 basic widgets. So let's go ahead and build that. That'll start auto mining some sand for us. But then you can see the second one here requires 4 spinning widgets. So the first one of each factory, we can click on this, just requires iron ingots and basic widgets. But the second one's going to require spinning widgets. So we'll build one of each of these to get some automation going. This gyroscope one, like you click and hold this red button in the middle, it spins it halfway around, then you let it go. But we don't have any glass. So glass, you basically just have to load the smelter. You gotta heat up the smelter first with this little clicking on the thermostat. And you can click the smelt glass button and it loads the smelter, turns some sand into glass. The sand one, you just click this red button in the top and it mines some sand. But this one, the final factory of the tier 2, requires spinning widgets to build one of them. So we're going to have to play the mini game to at least get some widgets built, just so we can unlock this one, 3 spinning widgets. So this one has a needle right here, and you got to basically click it when it hits up here. So click the red button when it's up there, and it speeds up as you do it, so it spins faster, gets harder to... We're out of materials anyway. But now we have one built, so it'll auto-craft some for us, albeit very slowly. So we'll basically build this up like we did the other one. This requires 4 spinning widgets, so let's get that loaded up. We already have 24 sand in inventory. So we can go to sand here, make sure we click on the thermostat to heat it back up. And then just click this red button, smelt some glass. But basically I just use the inventory menu for this one. This is good enough to, if this isn't full, I'm not producing it fast enough. Like you can see, these are being automated because we are using the basic widgets now and the iron ingots to purchase these upgrades. So we have to keep an eye on tier 1 to make sure. I don't think anything in tier 2 uses tier 1 right now. Let's check it out. So it does. So the gyroscope requires the basic widget. So we have to make sure that the this stays in the green, meaning it's full, so that we're producing them fast enough. I usually do get maybe a second set of factories going, just so we're producing it fast enough before I start working on the tech tree, because the tech tree requires 30 spinning widgets, where we would be a bit better to spend these spinning widgets. Only 5 spinning widgets collecting sand here. Alright, so we've got everything built in one set of factories. You can check the inventory and see where we're needed most here. It looks like we're out of glass, so let's focus on building a second glass factory. But you can see this gets pretty crazy because, tier 2 requires some tier 1 research. So imagine by the time we get to tier 12 will probably require tier 11, which will require tier 10, so there'll be quite the expansion effort when we get up to tier 12, because it'll start using all sorts of materials. So we'll try to build a robust factory out, but knowing that's going to happen so that we have it prepared ahead of time. Like my goal in the tech tree is to automate as quickly as possible, so that is the only process, the glass heating the thermostat up. That is not automated, so we will probably go to the tech tree and get that one lined up right away. Requires 16 spinning widgets, but we'll do it just to, that way we don't have to worry about coming in here and heating up the thermostat. But we do have to make sure we do the upgrade. But it's quite addictive. Like you finish tier 2, building tier 2 out, and then you adjust your tier 1 stuff, and you're like, oh, let's just do one more tier. Let's do tier 3. You know, and you start working on tier 3, and then you realize it requires some adjustments to tier 2, so you make that adjustments, and then before you know it, you're hours into the game. Alright, so we got 2 sets of factories maxed out with just one widget spinner factory. Checking the inventory here. You can see we're a little short on glass, we might want to do another glass factory. But let's take a look at the tech tree. So the sand increases mining speed by 50%, requires 30 spinning widgets. If we look at what it costs to build another sand mine, it requires 30 spinning widgets as well. So we're probably better to do the upgrade because it'll basically give us, it's basically a wash, but we might as well do the upgrade as soon as possible, so that way all future sand mines will benefit from it. And then all we have is some widget spinner increased speeds that we can look at doing. These only require 20 spinning widgets. So we have those already, so let's just go ahead and do them. We've also unlocked the storage. Let's go ahead and unlock the storage. Storage is nice. We're going to build menu. Let's check out the storage real quick. Put down a warehouse just, I don't know, over here. Once that gets built, we will open it up. The storage has 2 different options on it. Basically, you can pick to store just tier 1 items, or just tier 2 items, or tier 3 items, and so on. Or you can pick to store everything, but it only stores 10 of everything, so it'll store 10 tier 1, 10 tier 2. Or you can click on tier 1 and it'll store 100 tier 1. So for the beginning of the game, we're going to use specialized storage, but once we get enough of these, we'll go back and switch them all over to this manual. Just add this plus 10 and it'll store all of them. But for the beginning, I'm going to use specialized storage. So let's build one for tier 1. And let's build one for tier 2. As I'm building these out, I've noticed basic widget production is actually going down a little bit. We're consuming them almost as quickly as we're producing them, so we're probably going to want to consider building another widget factory. But also by unlocking tier 2, we've unlocked some additional research in tier 1. So that's something to keep in mind too. We have some spinning widgets available to us, so this increases productivity by 40% when placed on rocks. So iron mining can be increased by 40% when placed on rocks. And we can do smelting furnace increase furnace loading speed by 150%. This increases smelting speed by 25%. Increases widget productivity by 40% if placed exactly next to one other widget factory. So we're going to want to get these bonuses going. In fact, let's grab this one. Let's see, do we have enough for all of this stuff? Let's see if we do. Let's grab it all. So we grab all tech tier 1, tier 2 research that is available to us except for this one. We'll get to that one in a minute. Alright, before we build too many factories, let's take a look at if we hover over this, we can see Iron Mine now has a placement bonus of 0% right now, increases productivity by 40% when placed on rocks. So we can actually click and drag this over to these rocks right here, and now we can see it has a 40% bonus. So let's move all these over. I think it costs a little bit of money to move these, but I can't really tell how much. But oh well, it's worth the 40% bonus. Now, it looks like Iron Smelter has a increased 25% by each additional adjacent smelter. So let's move these up top here. Something like this. That should give these middle ones a 125% bonus. So as we do it, we'll build a big square and get big bonuses on the top. And these widget factories increase productivity by 40% when placed adjacent to exactly one other widget factory. So this is next to 1, but this is next to 2, so we need to just space these out. Let's go ahead and build another one to get the bonus. Let's go ahead and build some more storage. I'm going to hold down shift and place multiple of them. But we're going to do one for tier 1, and we're going to do one for tier 2. And if you hover over them, you can see workers. Like, let's put down another gyroscope factory so I can show you. Hover over this one, it says worker 6 of 6. This has workers 0 of 6. So we can tell that there's upgrades available in here because we haven't completed them. So I guess these are considered workers. So those are all full now. Now we can click in here and it shows 6 of 6 is complete. So grab this. We're actually low on basic widgets a little bit, so we might want to consider increasing basic widget production, which we might as well because we're going to need them for the future. So again, let's build them in 2s so that we get the bonus. And remember to come in and upgrade them fully. Alright, we've got a good base for tier 2 down. We got tier 1 being produced pretty well. So let's go ahead and open the tech tree here. We have all this completed, so let's go ahead and start the tier 3 research. We had 400 in stock, so we are already at 425 of 961. So it'll just take a minute or two and we will get to tier 3. So we will take a look at tier 3 next episode. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.